I'm Tommy with Studio Sense. If you're just now tuning in to my channel, I hope you can find it to be one of your favorite channels to stop by and check out cool new information on men's fragrance. Maybe make it your fragrance discovery home. You know, I was looking at my collection and I was thinking the other day how one of the problems with the frequency that new fragrances come out is the fragrances that have come out in the past year or so, or 2 or 3 years, often get forgotten about and left behind in lieu of their newer counterparts, whether it's a flanker or just a new pillar fragrance. They kind of get pushed into the background. And so I thought, now with the sun high in the horizon, beautiful days of summer are here, it'd be a great time to have a little bit of retrospection and look at some of the fragrances that have come out in the past few years that have become very popular, that people have that I may have forgotten about. Kind of dust them off a little bit and talk about why they're fantastic to wear during summertime. So I've got that and more coming right after this. Plus, guys, stick around because we're going to be doing a giveaway, or at least running a contest for the giveaway of this massive 200 ml bottle of Jacques Foth Curacao Bay. Fantastic fragrance. We're going to talk a little bit more about this. Be on the lookout for that because I'm going to give you very easy to follow instructions on how to win this huge mega bottle of Curacao Bay. Welcome back, friends. Today's video is revisiting some of the best fragrances that have come out in the past few years. You know, just because new fragrances come out doesn't mean that the older fragrances are lost or forgotten or no good. Often they're good and great and even excellent. Today we're looking at 10 excellent fragrances that are perfect for the summertime. Everybody's getting their t-shirts and shorts out, their tennis rackets, their pickleball, whatever you paddles. I don't know, I'm not a big player of pickleball, but there's a tennis court right here beside the college, and they're out there every day. And in fact, one of the fragrances that we're going to be talking about was worn by one of the joggers that I ran into on the track, and so it gave me that kind of pause to think, and I stopped him and talked about it a little bit. So we're going to talk about wearing that and 9 others today, so let's dig into our content. The very first fragrance you may have forgotten about, I actually talked about in one of my videos recently. It is a Ralph Lauren fragrance in the Polo line. It is Polo Red Eau de Parfum. Polo Red itself is a good eau de toilette fragrance, but I love what they do with the note of cranberry in this. Now you may think cranberry in a fragrance, I'm not too keen on that. Cranberry is one of those foods that I push to the edge of the plate until somehow it disappears during Thanksgiving. I don't really care for it in anything, but I'm here to tell you, in fragrance, it's amazing. There's something fresh, clean, berry-like, and pristine about it that's so good and refreshing in Polo Red Eau de Parfum, and that's what makes it a smashing summertime fragrance that you should try out if you haven't. The next fragrance you may have forgotten about is one of those that fits in the category of fresh laundry clean with a bit of juniper. Tiffany Love for Him. Tiffany Love for Him is not one of those outstanding fragrances, but it is very solid. It wears very well. It lasts decent, I would say average, but everyone who's ever smelled this on me has actually really enjoyed the overall, while simplistic scent profile, it's very effective. It's got that same kind of laundry fresh that the Prada L'Homme line has, although maybe a bit more modern, and I really like that about it. And if you haven't tried Tiffany Love for Him, you should definitely check this one out. A great summertime office-friendly scent as well. The next great summertime fragrance you may have forgotten about may have been kind of pushed into the background by a couple of flankers that have come out, but this is the original pillar fragrance by Hermes. It is H24. When H24 first came out, I was like, this is kind of an underwhelming fragrance. It smells like a freshly ironed t-shirt. There's a bit more to this than that. It has a nice kind of retro green aspect to it. Fresh citrus is also embedded into the formula of H24. It's just an overall all-around great summer fragrance. Not only does it last just above average in terms of longevity, but I think it's one of the best in the line, even though there's an EDP and also Herbs Vive that has come out. This is still my favorite. H24 by Hermes. Next up is another fragrance that kind of put Burberry on the map, as it were, as a more of a modern fragrance. A lot of people know about Burberry London and Burberry Weekend, some other Burberry fragrances. They tried to be put on the map with Element and some of the other newer fresher kind of fragrances. But what really created buzz is Burberry Hero. Now this one may have been kind of pushed aside by some of the flankers. There have been several flankers. Those flankers are more oriental spicy and more for cooler weather wear. For summertime, it doesn't get better cedar woodsy than Burberry Hero. There's 3 different kinds of cedars in this fragrance, so that's the primary focus, is the woodsy cedar, and it does it super well. Very masculine, fantastic summertime wear, even office friendly, and this would also be a great first fragrance for those just getting into the cologne or fragrance game. The next fragrance that's definitely been forgotten about, but is still a really high quality fragrance, and I've really enjoyed wearing it lately, actually, is by Yves Saint Laurent, and it is in the La Nuit de l'Homme line, La Nuit de l'Homme Eau Electrique. This was early inspiration for Blue Electrique. It's not quite as good as Blue Electrique, but it definitely has that milky, creamy cardamom headed towards the direction of a blue fragrance. This is just a little bit more lightly blue than is Blue Electrique, which is a bit more staunch and definitive of a blue fragrance. This, while being still a bit softer, is a fantastic summertime wear, but that softness makes it a great office wear fragrance, a great all-around everyday wear during the summer, and it's super refreshing. I really enjoy this one, and unlike Blue Electrique, it's still around, you can still get it, and I'm happy about that. If you're not aware of this one, but you do like Blue Electrique, you should definitely check out La Nuit de l'Homme Eau Electrique. Similar to Eau Electrique, a fragrance that's been often forgotten about, but served as early inspiration for Armani Code Parfum, is Armani Code Eau de Parfum, the EDP version of the popular Armani Code line. This one is a fantastic citrus fresh. Not only does it use citrus and bergamot to great effect, but there's a nice, clean, fresh summertime leather aspect to Armani Code EDP as well that everyone can enjoy. Plus it has that same kind of signature masculine powderiness that is familiar in fragrances like Prada Luna Rossa Black, but not quite as powdery. So I think a lot of people will really enjoy this one who don't enjoy that one. Armani Code Eau de Parfum. And guys, it wouldn't be summertime if you didn't include a marine-based or aquatic fragrance in your rotation, and few do it better than Invictus Aqua. Invictus Aqua, still around, still a great fragrance, but often forgotten about in lieu of either a newer flanker or newer aquatic fragrance out there. Giorgio Armani's been throwing out a bunch of new Aqua de Joe fragrances, so it's really easy for this to get lost in the shuffle. But what a fantastic aquatic fragrance this is, especially if you like that more youthful territory that this is surfboarding in. Definitely one for the ages. It really doesn't matter what age you are, anyone can wear Invictus Aqua and enjoy it, and it definitely has that whole summertime feel, and the performance in this is perfect for summertime wear. It just does great even in high heat. Invictus Aqua by Paco Rabanne. One of my favorite fragrances in the line, maybe my favorite, I don't know, between this one and the EDP version, actually, but it often gets lost in the shuffle due to a newer flanker or a newer fragrance. Another fragrance by Yves Saint Laurent is Y Parfum, or Y Le Parfum, if you want to go by the label. Beautiful fragrance, guys. This one is a beautiful fragrance. So you get that, some people complain about the synthetic apple and the synthetic fruits in Y, but I don't think you can complain about it very much in this one because they're dumbed down a bit. Not altogether, because it wouldn't be Y if you didn't have this aldehydic fruity side to it, but it's just a bit more mature, a little bit more muted. There's a bit more focus on mature elegance. And when I say mature, I'm talking like late 20s. I'm not talking about 90s with a cane kind of mature, because this is a young man's fragrance anyway, even though anyone can wear it. But Y Parfum just takes a little bit more serious look at summertime, and that's why I think you should try it out if you haven't, or dust it off the shelf and re-add it to your current rotation. This is the bottle that we're actually doing the giveaway, and it is a Jacques Fath fragrance, a very well-known name when it comes to niche fragrances, and this is one of the most popular of their line in the Fath Essentials, and that is Curacao Bay. What a fresh, fantastic, citrusy green. This one has everything. It's got citrus, it's got fruit, it's got vegetal, it's got mineralic, but overall, there's nothing more refreshing. To me, this is like taking a dip in a pond underneath a waterfall somewhere, surrounded by lush vegetation, because that's kind of what you get in this overall. It's a unisex fragrance, so anybody can wear. I'm gonna put this huge bottle down. It's like lifting weights, holding it up there. It's a very heavy glass. The bottle itself too, it's very simplistic, but you do have that signature huge atomizer. It's 200 ml. You've got a magnetic, yeah, there you go. Magnetic cap, so cool presentation. And we're gonna do a giveaway of this, and I'm gonna tell you about how specifically you can win this 200 ml bottle here in a moment, because we have one more fragrance to talk about. dusting off the shelf and retrying. And this is actually what the runner was wearing yesterday when I stopped him and said, hey, are you wearing this? Actually got the fragrance right, because everybody recognizes by now Dior Sauvage. Whether it's the Eau de Toilette or the EDP or the Parfum edition, Dior Sauvage is a very specific kind of resounding, loud, a little bit scratchy on around the edges, but specific masculine fragrance and scent. Everybody's kind of aware of it now. But I think a lot of people that are into the fragrance game have kind of retired it a bit, but I think it's worth taking a second look at. Now, my bottle is pretty much all gone. All I have left of it is of the EDP is this, and I probably will re-up again in the future, so I don't have the bottle to show you. But it is a beautiful bottle, beautiful presentation. This kind of reminds me of it a little bit. There are very few people that have been around people, especially hairdressers, because I've talked to them about it before, about how everyone is aware of Dior Sauvage. So if you're reticent about being around other people and maybe you want to smell like what people are used to or people are familiar with, there's something kind of comforting about that. And there's something comforting about the masculine strength of a very kind of loud or voluminous fragrance like Dior Sauvage. It's one of the best-selling men's fragrance for a reason, and I think you should try it out again if you haven't, or give it a chance. I think there's something everyone can appreciate about Dior Sauvage, whether it's the Eau de Toilette or the EDP, but in this instance, I'm talking about the EDP. That's what the young man was wearing, and that's what I prefer myself. For those of you interested in how to win this 200 ml bottle of Curaçao Bay by Jacques Foth, part of the Foth Essentials, all you got to do is, the first thing is make sure you're subbed to Studio Sins, that you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you like this video. Tell me what your favorite go-to fragrance this summer has been so far. Make sure you tell everyone in the comments what your favorite go-to summertime fragrance is right now. It could be something that you wore last year. It can be something that you're wearing right now. It doesn't matter. Just what your quick grab. And you'll be entered to win this huge 200 ml bottle of Curaçao Bay. A fantastic summertime niche fragrance. That's a wrap on all of these. I know these are very familiar fragrances that many people have forgotten but have worn them before. If you have, tell me which of these is your favorite in the comments below. Share that with everyone. And if I missed one that has been long forgotten that you think is a fantastic fragrance that you want to bring up and share with everyone, do that in the comments as well. I appreciate that. But keep in mind entering for the contest too as you're commenting, and make sure you're subbed as well. A lot of people forget to sub to my channel that have even been watching it for a while. Thanks so much for tuning in today. As always, thank you so much for your continued support on my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sins. You and your family stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video review.